व्यक्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। आज्ञानातिमिरन्तस्य ज्ञानजनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। स्थावरं जङ्गमं व्यक्तं यत्किञ्चित् सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। पावजीव्यापि यत्सर्वं त्रिलोक्यं सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सर्वश्रुतिशिरोरत्न विरचिता पदाम्बुजः वेदान्ताम्बुजसूर्यो यत् तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। चैतन्यशाश्वतशान्तो व्योमतीतो निरञ्जनः बिन्दुनाथकलातीतो तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ज्ञानशक्तिसमारूढः तत्त्वमालाविभूषितः मुक्तिमुक्तिप्रदाता च तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अनेकजन्मसम्प्राप्ता धर्मबन्धविदाहिने आत्मज्ञानप्रदानेन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। शोषणं पावसिन्धुश्च ज्ञापनं सारसम्पदः गुरुपादोदकं सम्यक् तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। न गुरोराधिकं तत्त्वं न गुरोराधिकं तपः तत्त्वज्ञानात्परं नास्ति तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। मानतः श्रीजगन्नाथ मद्गुरुः श्रीजगद्गुरुः ममात्मा सर्वभूतात्मा तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरुरादिरनादिश्च गुरुपरमदैवतं गुरुपरतरं नास्ति तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव।
Sri Swami Vishwananda Sharanam Mama. Om Sri Swami Vishwananda Sharanam Mama.
Om Sri Swami Vishwananda Sharanam Mama. Om Sri Swami Vishwananda Sharanam Mama.
Om Sri Swami Vishwananda Sharanam Mama. Om Sri Swami Vishwananda Sharanam Mama.
Om Sri Swami Vishwananda Sharanam Mama. Om Sri Swami Vishwananda Sharanam Mama.
Om Sri Swami Vishwananda Sharanam Mama. Om Sri Swami Vishwananda Sharanam Mama.
Om Sri Swami Vishwananda Sharanam Mama. Om Sri Swami Vishwananda Sharanam Mama.
Om Sri Swami Vishwananda Sharanam Mama. Om Sri Swami Vishwananda Sharanam Mama.
Om Sri Swami Vishwananda Sharanam Mama. Om Sri Swami
Vishwananda Sharanam Mama.
Om Sri Swami Vishwananda Sharanam Mama. Om Sri Swami Vishwananda Sharanam Mama.
Om Sri Swami Vishwananda Sharanam Mama. Om Sri Swami Vishwananda Sharanam Mama.
Om Sri Swami Vishwananda Sharanam Mama. Om Sri Swami Vishwananda Sharanam Mama.
Om Sri Swami Vishwananda Sharanam Mama. Om Sri Swami Vishwananda Sharanam Mama.
Om Sri Swami Vishwananda Sharanam Mama. Om Sri Swami Vishwananda Sharanam Mama.
Namo Narayana, Namo Narayana, Namo Narayana, Hari Om.
Namo Narayana,
Namo Narayana, Namo Narayana, Hari Om. Oh Namo Narayana, Namo Narayana, Namo Narayana, Hari Om.
Namo Narayana, Namo Narayana, Namo Narayana, Hari Om.
Namo Narayana, Namo Narayana, Namo Narayana, Guru Om.
Namo Narayana, Namo Narayana, Namo Narayana, Guru Om.
Namo Narayana, Namo Narayana, Namo Narayana, Guruji 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 Om.
Oh Namo Narayana, Namo Narayana, Namo Narayana, Guruji Om.
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 Om Sri Swami Vishwananda Sharanam Mama.
Om Mahatare Shishaya Namaha, Om Vishamaya Namaha, Om Devatare Samvidhyataya Namaha, Om Sukshmatalave Namaha, Om Chinmayaya Namaha, Om Gurumitaye Namaha, Om Sundaraya Namaha, Om Swachanaya Namaha, Om Sumangaya Namaha, Om Charuvasaya Namaha, Om Keshavaya Namaha, Om Padmabhujaya Namaha, Om Mandraganaya Namaha, Om Charubharatayine Namaha, Om Brahmaya Namaha, Om Mandirastapakaya Namaha, Om Shivji Babachakaya Namaha, Om Gayatri Ajane Namaha, Om Arpana Srikarakaya Namaha, Om Vishnu Pachakaya Namaha, Om Namo Narayane Mantrapasakaya Namaha, Om Swaramayaya Namaha, Om Madhurakantaya Namaha, Om Krishna Sankirtananupaya Namaha, Om Statrapriyaya Namaha, Om Itabashine Namaha, Om Bhakmine Namaha, Om Chitrakala Visharadaya Namaha, Om Vratataraya Namaha, Om Satave Namaha, Om Jagatpantaya Namaha, Om Saralokahitaya Namaha, Om Bhattapriyaya Namaha, Om Suryaya Namaha, Om Anukulaya Namaha, Om Nyayaya Namaha, Om Sudarshanaya Namaha, Om Bhaktavatsalaya Namaha, Om Premamuktaye Namaha, Om Shiveshanaya Namaha, Om Prithivardhanaya Namaha, Om Swastidayakaya Namaha, Om Tarakaya Namaha, Om Anugrahaya Namaha, Om Vardhanaya Namaha, Om Architaya Namaha, Om Artaya Namaha, Om Siddhipradaya Namaha, Om Janardhanaya Namaha, Om Manoharaya Namaha, Om Mahashaya Namaha, Om Siddheshwaraya Namaha, Om Bhasmavishitaya Namaha, Om Atmalingaya Namaha, Om Lingachana Prasakaya Namaha, Om Siddhisaranaya Namaha, Om Madhavaya Namaha, Om Parapasakaya Namaha, Om Sukshmaya Namaha, Om Vishwakaya Namaha, Om Satvikaya Namaha, Om Samadarshine Namaha, Om Dakshaya Namaha, Om Achintyaya Namaha, Om Niramankaraya Namaha, Om Nirmohaya Namaha, Om Avyakraya Namaha, Om Chitakradaya Namaha, Om Vinayashiraya Namaha, Om Svavashaya Namaha, Om Kushalaya Namaha, Om Shamaya Namaha, Om Satyadharmaya Namaha, Om Nirvikalpaya Namaha, Om Viraktaya Namaha, Om Atitraya Namaha, Om Satyasandaya Namaha, Om Pavitraya Namaha, Om Madhurasvabhavaya Namaha, Om Suranandaya Namaha, Om Nandanaya Namaha, Om Prasanatmane Namaha, Om Bhaktahitaye Namaha, Om Sakshaye Namaha, Om Samatmaye Namaha, Om Sadayogine Namaha, Om Haraye Namaha, Om Sutapaya Namaha, Om Saumyaya Namaha, Om Guyaya Namaha, Om Vimuktatmaya Namaha, Om Kabiraya Namaha, Om Guptaya Namaha, Om Atmaramaya Namaha, Om Srinivasaya Namaha, Om Devaya Namaha, Om Gyutitaraya Namaha, Om Danyaya Namaha, Om Gurave Namaha, Om Duritikramaya Namaha, Om Gavanaya Namaha, Om Bhagavate Namaha, Om Harisharika Margadarshakaya Namaha, Om Kutastha Jagatakaya Namaha, Om Avitrayaya Namaha, Om Sarvamata Samityaya Namaha, Om Shamekatavavakaya Namaha, Om Vimavatar Shri Vishwananda Swamine Namaha. Ato Deva Avanto Yato Vishnu Vichakrame Pratilya Sapta Dhamavih Idam Vishnu Vichakrame Tredani Tate Padam Samudamasya Pavum Sure Treni Pada Vichakrame Vishnu Gopa Adavyaha Tato Dharmani Dharele Vishnu Karmani Pashyata Yato Vindani Pashpase Indrasya Yushya Saka Tat Vishnu Paramam Padam Sada Pashyanti Surya Divi Vashakshuratata Tad Vipraso Vipanyavo Jagrubhagum Sasamidate Vishnu Yat Paramam Padam. प्रेमवत्तराय विद्महे सद्गुरुदेवाय धीमहि तन्नो विश्वनन्दः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ प्रेमवत्तराय विद्महे सद्गुरुदेवाय धीमहि तन्नो विश्वनन्दः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ प्रेमवत्तराय विद्महे सद्गुरुदेवाय धीमहि तन्नो विश्वनन्दः प्रचोदयात्। सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्।
Shri Krishna Vishnu Madhusudana Ketapare Narayana Achyuta Divikrama Chakrapane Deities Sajadara Sridhara Vasudeva Gopala Krishna Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Shri Rukmini Sabhavanasa Hare Murare Radhesha Gopesha Surupa Brahmadi Vandya Shri Dwarakashaya Vaikuntha Pate Bhuvane Kamurte Gopala Deva Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Veda Krite Kamata Rupa Varaha Murte Devi Kramaya Bhuvane Rama Rama Shri Rama Krishna Yadunandana Kalki Rupa Govinda Madhava Mukunda Bharat Paresha Damodara Kshatarana Gadari Shori Gopa Gopi Jana Samrita Dina Bando Gopi Jana Priya Hare Tava Suprabhatam Shri Rakti Shai Pujagadi Patal Pashai Sadbhakta Ritsadana Shai Ramanga Shai Shri Gopa Vanda Mridu Sarpa Shukadi Shai Gopa Bala Bahare Tava Suprabhatam Shri Kaishapatri Shukanarada Gautamari Brahma Shri Sangamani Sangava Bharatesho Tishtanti Deva Tava Darshana Bhagya Heto Gopala Shekhara Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Mandara Chari Tulasi Dala Marya Kadyaye Malyani Anjali Pute Samudaharanti Tishtanti Dvatpavata Dara Dale Munindra Radha Manohara Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Vedatrayam Patati Gautama Kanagoya Gayanti Satguna Gano Varada Savarga Santirtayanti Tava Nama Kada Vishesha Shri Naradadi Vishaya Tava Suprabhatam Govardhanodharana Gopa Kishora Gopa Gopi Janamrita Suvesha Pava Shori Padmotpavati Surasevita Pada Padma Padmadinata Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Vrindantale Viharataya Mahendra Vandya Gandharva Dharma Haratinya Sudesha Rupa Chandrananaya Siddha Chantana Lipta Deha Govinda Yadava Hare Tava Suprabhatam Shri Nanda Nandana Yashoda Kumara Tira Mayanga Dina Davichona Supushpahara Nilambuda Sharira Rama Vihara Gopala Deva Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Shri Vaishri Janpavati Satya Sukhanti Vadra Shri Mitra Vinda Divasa Prabhu Putrikadya He Tishtanti Divya Bhavame Tava Sevanarna Gopi Manapriya Hare Tava Suprabhatam Shri Krishna Achyuta Ananta Mukunda Shori Radha Manohara Janardana Chakrapare Namani Divya Munayurnani Samvadanti Brahmi Muhurta Samaye Tava Suprabhatam Shri Krishna Suprabhata Ye Padanti Anisha Buri Krita Mahapapa Shri Krishna Grayetuka Govinda
Ajnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Gurudev, everyone. I want to read a verse from the story of King Bali. So King Bali is mentioned in the story when we chant the Vaishnava mantra, Ato Deva Avantano. And that little mantra is about King Bali surrendering. Probably most of you are aware of the story. So in short, King Bali promised to God, to Lord Vamana, 3 steps of land, and he couldn't fulfill. Because Vamana, as a dwarf, he grew immensely in size, and then, because of his identity as God, he took with 1 step the whole earth, another step the whole universe, and then King Bali couldn't provide and could not fulfill his promise. So why we chant the Vaishnava mantra in the morning is very much a belief. It is that we surrender to God, is that we give ourselves. And he was a very righteous king. There are quite a number of those kings in Hinduism, actually. For example, the father of Sita, King Janaka, he's also mentioned in the Gita as the perfect karma yogi. Or we have King Kulashekar. Every evening we chant the Mukundamala Stotram, which he wrote. And so there are these very dharmic kings, and to them, to keep a promise was more important than actually their own life. So what did King Bali do in this situation? Every morning when we chant the Vaishnava mantra, he surrendered his head. To fulfill the 3rd step, to fulfill the promise to Lord Vamana, he said, okay, I don't have anything else to give rather than myself. And so he surrendered completely. And Vamana put his foot on his head. Yeah, so that is a story of surrender. That's why we chant it every morning. And in this verse, which I'm going to read, it is about King Bali saying that it's actually a sweet punishment from the Lord. Because we all know that King Bali, he originally wanted to conquer all the 3 worlds. Yeah, so we have the underworld, and then we have this world, and we have the upper world where the Devas live. And he was about to conquer the Devic realm. And so it was through the prayers, actually of the mother of Indra, she prayed that the Lord would do something, that the Devas, they would keep their realm. And so it didn't happen. But originally, King Bali, he wanted to conquer, and he had this desire for power. And so we could say that Vaishnava mantra is also a prayer to, let's say that surrender always gains victory over pride. And that is essentially, I think, our path. If you want to go into what is the daily struggle and what is also the daily victories, like the ups and downs that we experience, it is mostly conquest of pride. And then when we have conquered the pride, we always feel better afterwards. Who can do it? Only Guruji can do it for us. Okay, so I'm going to read the verse. It's from the 8th canto, 22nd chapter, verse 4. Pumsam shlagyattam manye dhandamarhattam arpitam yam namata pita brata suradas chati santihi. Translation: although a father, mother, brother, or friend may sometimes punish one as a well-wisher, they never punish their subordinate like this. But because you are the most worshipable Lord, I regard the punishment you have given me as most exalted. Yeah, in other words, he takes the punishment as a blessing. Was it really a punishment? It was a punishment in the worldly way that King Vamana, he did not allow him, he stopped him to conquer all the 3 worlds, but rather he banished him back into where he came from, into the Patala Loka, the Asuric realm. So King Bali, he was an Asura, or we can say he is Asuric king, And just as a side note, his grandfather is Prahlad, that we have as a great, great Bhakta, who said, I'm born as an Asura, but he's right here on the altar in the center stage, yeah, right at the feet of Narasimha. And we chant every evening also the Narasimha Kavacham, written by Prahlad. So these are great devotees. So in the worldly sense, he was stopped, but in the spiritual sense, as he has see here, and otherwise he would not be in the Bhagavatam, he saw clearly as a blessing. And I think resonates with us very often in the worldly sense. Somebody is maybe stopping us to do something, or the pride gets crushed, but maybe a few weeks later, a few years later, we see it as a great blessing. I think this is very important to see. Yeah. So what I actually wanted to talk about today is I wanted to encourage everyone a little bit to dare to go into how you are, to go into your identity, because recent experience also has shown me that actually it takes a step to really go into an identity. And it's not only for us. I think it's for every person, it's for every Sangha in the world, it's for every organization in the world. Whole marketing departments, they are busy with who are we? Who is our identity? What is our position? Where do we stand? So everyone is very eagerly looking for their identity. And some are very successful in it, for example, Apple. And others may be successful with it in 10 years. But so is the individual as well. And the point I want to make is I want to encourage everyone to dare that you become more as you are. Because in the many meetings or encounters that I had, also working with the people, I've seen that everyone is very beautiful. And sorry, it might sound cheesy, but it is true, yeah, because there is this identity in us that Guruji more and more carves out, and the beauty that comes out of the person is not that we necessarily conform to what is the average, but the beauty of the person comes out when an authenticity comes out. Yeah, or to rephrase that is, the person is not only beautiful when they're smiling always, but the person can equally or sometimes be even more beautiful if they're authentically crying. Yeah. So it is something else, and to dare to go into the identity, I wanted to list a couple of examples that I have faced, and I want to say, really, I faced them, because you will face judgment when you go into your identity. And I think that is the problem that we are afraid of. Otherwise, we would maybe easily go into our identity and just be ourselves. But the fear of judgment is there. And regardless of whatever examples I'm going to list now, the point I want to make very, 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 very clear is it doesn't matter which Sangha in the world you choose. You can be a Hari Bhakta, you can be a member of the American Rifle Association. But the point I want to make is, whichever, it doesn't matter, whichever Sangha or position you choose, you will always have people for and against you. It's not that you choose the optimal position and then you have only approval. No. Yeah, so it's regardless, whatever Sangha, whatever identity you choose, yeah, there will always be people that disapprove of that position, and there will always be people who approve of that position. And here we come to the Gita, where Krishna says, don't get entangled into this, you just go back to do your work. What a sense of freedom. Yeah. So this is very important. Now let me list some examples where I, to some degree, went into my identity, and I don't say that I was right. You know, I'm also not saying that what I did was exactly the right thing. For sure, the others, when they were in a disapproving position, they had their truth, for sure. And I completely acknowledged that they were right. Yeah, and maybe that's also the beauty of Hinduism. Multiple can be right at the same time. You know, we have multiple versions, for example, of Sri Suktam. All are valid. Yeah, and if there's multiple opinions on one thing, all are valid. Yeah. So, first, when I came here, maybe 10 years ago, or when I moved to the ashram 8 years ago, there was something like the Nila Suktam. And I brought it here, and there was a high-ranking person in the ashram who said, "Who is Nila? What is it? We don't chant this. What is this? We don't need this. Why are you doing this?" Yeah. So Nila Suktam is what I chanted among other mantras before. And the point I want to make with this is, if you just keep on doing what you do, if you now look a little bit later, Nila Suktam has been integrated into the Bhakti Marga morning prayers on Friday mornings. Yeah. So this is something where, even though you face maybe disapproval, just keep on, and time will show if it makes sense, you know. I have, with Guruji's blessing, given a lot of coaching sessions called Bhakti Pathfinder to hundreds of people, and most of them, they have said that they have benefited them well. And there have been people who might say, "No, it's not for me." And there have been people in the ashram again who made fun of me because I do that, you know. Very often they come and say, "Oh, somebody found their path. Did you show somebody their bhakti path?" And like this, you know. Regardless, it's been standing for 3.5 years and it's been helping hundreds of people. So you face judgment, you know. It's always whatever you do, there's good and bad. Satsangs, not everyone maybe likes my satsangs, you know. Some people say, "I really like your satsang." You can say there's fans of satsangs and there's anti-fans of satsangs, you know. But it's again, I think, I'm not Swami Aniruddha. I really recommend you listen to his talk yesterday. Like, if you haven't, I know also if you hear this recording, go to the 1st of January 2024 satsang of Swami Aniruddha, because I found it amazing. I was so inspired. But can I be Swami Aniruddha? No, because I am not Swami Aniruddha, you know. And so you're not like your neighbor. And I think this is an integral part of our path, to dare to be how you are. And we heard on the evening broadcast, like how the Swamis also, they more and more dare to go into their identity and broadcast on YouTube. It's not so easy to step in, and they mention to stay consistent. Yeah, because as said, you will face judgment. Yeah, you will also face your own doubts, etc. But the consistency, and over time it will show if it makes sense. Instagram, I'm not at all. I'm an Instagrammer or like a social networker. Like, if you want to find my weak spot, like, ask me, "Are you on Facebook?" You know, I'm not. I completely. I have to learn it. Yeah. So, but at some point, you know, I used to work in a finance office here, and I needed some some space to be creative. So I just started, you know, making the pictures, etc. And I used Instagram privately, as I just put it there as my private fun gallery. So I posted, you know, and then people say, "How can you post like this?" You know, and others say, "Yeah, but I don't think too much about it. I'm just creative. I've put it there. As long as it's like nothing offensive, etc., I can post it there." So again, judgment. But also time has shown, like, some people loved it and they make a sticker set out of it. Yeah. So again, I do cow puja early mornings. Right now I actually made a vacation because I was like over these days a little bit was too tired. But normally I do it with Giri in the very early mornings. And I just love it, you know. I just love being with the cows. I love the picture of Radha Krishna in Vrindavan with the cows. This is something that just touched my heart, you know. Although, like, my Ishtadev is a different one, but this just touches my heart. I grew up in the countryside. This is something very, very natural for me. And I just love being with the cows. And then people make fun of it, you know. But at the same time, everyone is shouting Govinda in the prayers. Yeah, Govinda means protector of cows. Who gave that name to him? It was Kamadhenu, mother cow, after the Vimohana Lila. Yeah. So, consistency. And then songs. Like sometimes a song comes to me. I'm not a big piano player or harmonium player, but I like to rock sometimes. And if I play bhajan, I go fully into it and praise the Lord, really. And I don't have to think about it. And so sometimes when a song comes, you know, some people like the song, some people get annoyed by the song, but in the end, a lot of people think it's party time, yeah? So this is also something where you face both sides every time, you know? If it is approval, if it is a disapproval, and to stay loyal to your feeling, to stay loyal to sincerity. When Swami Anuruddha yesterday, he pointed out, let's go more into sincerity. It is really true, but we have to be daring to do that, because you expose yourself, we learn to show ourselves, and what we are afraid of is that somebody rejects us. Yeah. And I think that only needs a little bit of training. It can be a routine. And let's say me, I've been doing these things, like, I think I'm kind of routined in doing this. And when somebody says like this, oh, you're so great, then okay, whatever. If somebody said, oh, you suck, you know, then okay, whatever, you know. But you need to kind of stay loyal, you know. And again, the point I want to make is that you stay loyal, but it doesn't mean that, like, sometimes you're also wrong, you know. It's good to take the feedback, you know. It's for sure right, the feedback. I believe that whatever feedback comes through the members of Sangha, you know, that it's right, because it comes from Guruji. At the same time, we cannot go left and right with the masses all the time. We have to find our inner compass, right? Another example, Murti worship. Murti worship is something that I do. Now, okay, since I'm Bhakti Marga devotee, we do Murti worship. It is something that I don't feel anything. And I've been doing it for 9 years now. I like the aesthetic part of it. I feel much more close with the Shaligram, but I have a metal Murti, I even have Lingam of Guruji. I don't feel anything. Yeah. And you can say, oh yeah, I'm so cold. Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong, it's true, but the fact is I don't feel anything. Why am I doing it? So here again, I'm consistently doing it still every day, you know, and I see over the years I develop love and connection, yeah. But it took so much time for me, yeah, because for some reason I'm much connected with Hinduism, but with Murti worship, for me, it is a different thing. So I keep on doing it, and here who's the opponent? Is myself, is the evil forces inside that say, don't do it. But keeping doing it with consistency over time, it will show, and it has shown that it is right. In the past, when I became vegetarian, my sister and the rest of my family, clearly they were not vegetarian. I think this is a very common example that, like, us here as the black sheep, we become vegetarians, and the rest of the world, they don't. And it was Christmas time, and I was vegetarian for 1 year. And my sister, she was always very flexible. I credit her this. She was always very accommodating. And she tried to understand what I'm doing. And so I explained to her, you know, I can't eat meat, and like especially on Christmas Eve, like the Lamb of God, Jesus Christ, hello. And then she said, okay, I suggest let's celebrate still. We celebrate together, but I make that one day in the year, then we only eat spaghetti, you know? So we eat like super simple food. We got, we made pasta and some sauce, some salad, boom. Like normally for my sister, that's like a too simple meal. She's not in the monk mode like me. But yeah, that was it. And we had very simple food. It was vegetarian. We could celebrate together. She accepted it. You know, there was so much resistance, like in my own family, to me stop drinking alcohol, to me stop eating meat, etc. Fierce resistance. Yeah. When I became vegetarian, even I didn't know what to eat, personally. But very quickly, being consistent and disregarding whoever approves of you, disregarding whoever disapproves of you, time has shown, and then God made it in a way that very soon I had good company, good vegetarian food around me, and also my sister understanding. You know. Ashram in your country. I think there is natural disapproval of having an ashram. We might all officially say, no, we want an ashram in our country. But why don't we have? So, to make an ashram in the country is to give a physical form to the Sangha, right? The Sangha is the ashram. So when you have a Sangha, I would say even of 3 or 5 people, then there is this part of the Sangha who approves, let's make an ashram. And there's the other part who disapprove, you know. It is clearly the sign of the time that Guruji wants and encourages us to make ashrams. I don't know how foolish we can be not to make ashrams, because if you look at the world situation, who might not want to live in a spiritual community sheltered by Guruji? So anyway, there also, time will show if the effort is being made consistently to create ashrams. And I'm sure that disregarding approval, disregarding disapproval, whatever, to do the work, that will show what is right. A very good example, I really admire Swami Madhava here in Germany. He was my boss for a long time. And he literally made the first step to move into a huge, cold, dark, and abandoned building, which today is known as Sri Vitaldam. You know, just a couple of years later. He did it when? During COVID time. So he was a Swami who made the first step. He moved out of here and he moved in there, you know. And I saw like the pictures from the very early days when there was really nothing in what we today call the spirit of Sri Vitaldam. But it has come. Why did it come? Because he did the work, you know. And there's always people against, people for it. But in the end, what's it worth, you know? Okay. Last example about myself. God is happiness. And of course, the evil forces inside of me, they think, no, God is not happiness. Something else is happiness. Yeah. So sometimes when it's too much in Bhakti Marga, because it is an exclusive path, it is not something that you do on the weekend, you know. And that's why I believe it is the true path. And just yesterday I was reminded that really Bhakti Marga is that way to happiness. And when here the curtains were open and we were all sitting here in the Sangha and making the music, I felt, man, God is right here. But I have to, over the years, consistently do my work in order to stay in Bhakti Marga, stay engaged in Bhakti Marga. Because obviously inside of me there are forces also that would pull me away. There's forces that might pull you away from brahmacharya. There's people who say, I can't be a brahmacharya because, you know, I still have thoughts about wanting a family, etc. But they are already brahmachari. But then I would say, of course, everyone has these tendencies. The purpose of having a vow is to be safe from these tendencies, you know? So it's not that after you take the vow, it's all clean and easy. No, but the vow is something that you explicitly take in order to battle those evil forces. With the support of Guruji, who will then go in and help you, you know, if you are not an idiot. But then he's very much helping to support going that path. And there's other things that sometimes it's too much for me in Bhakti Marga. Because personally, I like doing things completely, you know. For example, in the past, I learned my mantras properly, I did my reading properly, everything was like 100%. When I think, this is done now, okay, then I can do something else. But in Bhakti Marga, there's so much that I have to do. Like, it's sometimes hard to do things completely, you know? You just have to, yeah, do it, it's enough, move on, you know? And for me, that's a new approach. But this is how we battle the inside tendencies that want to pull you away from this path. And there is also the other tendencies inside that say, oh, everything is so sweet, and with Guruji is always so nice. And that is also, of course it's true, with Guruji is always nice, but sometimes it's also hard, you know, because you have to go through your own and like this, sometimes it's you really have to navigate like through an asteroid field of good and bad inside of you. And Krishna's messages go beyond good and bad. But to go beyond good and bad, also be beyond, let's say, approval and disapproval in our daily life, what is the path? It is through that. We don't go around that, right? So the clear message of the Gita of Guruji is always go through it. So when we go through the good and bad inside of us towards God, it means that we have to go exactly through that good and bad inside of us, right? So to wrap this up is, as initially said, King Bali's strong character, among other kings who are strong characters that are still venerated today. Guruji said so beautiful in the Mukundamala Stotram, like how can a king be? How ideal is the person that they're still remembered thousands of years later? Like we all, after we die, like even during our lifetime, we are nobody. But then after we die, we're even more nobody. But how is a person, how sweet is the message of that heart if they're still remembered thousands of years later? For example, King Kulashekar, for example, King Bali. So these are strong characters. So to become a strong character, I wanted to use this satsang to encourage everyone that you dare, that we all dare to go into our identity as Hari Bhakta, and even if you would choose another identity, which I don't recommend, then the same pattern would happen, that we always would face positive and negative feedback. Jai Gurudev.
Namaste
Hare Krishna
जो जावे फल पावे दुख विनाशे मन का स्वामी दुख विनाशे मन का सुख संपत्ति करावे सुख संपत्ति करावे कष्ट मिटे तन का ओम जय जगदीश हरे माता पिता तुम मेरे शरण गाऊं मैं किसकी स्वामी शरण गाऊं मैं किसकी तुम बिना और न दूजा तुम बिना और न दूजा आशा करूं मैं किसकी ओम जय जगदीश हरे तुम पूर्ण परमात्मा तुम अंतरयामी स्वामी तुम अंतरयामी पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर तुम सबके स्वामी ओम जय जगदीश हरे तुम करुणा के सागर तुम पालन करता स्वामी तुम पालन करता मैं सेवक तुम स्वामी मैं सेवक तुम स्वामी कृपा करो भरता ओम जय जगदीश हरे तुम हो एक गोचर सबके प्राणपति स्वामी सबके प्राणपति किस विधि मिलूं दयामय किस विधि मिलूं कृपामय तुमको मैं कुमति ओम जय जगदीश हरे दीन बंधु दुख हरता तुम रक्षक मेरे स्वामी तुम रक्षक मेरे करुणा बताओ करुणा बताओ चरण पदा तेरे ओम जय जगदीश हरे विषय विकार मिटाओ पापारो देवा स्वामी पापारो देवा श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ाओ श्रद्धा प्रेम बढ़ाओ संतन की सेवा ओम जय जगदीश हरे तन मन धन सब है तेरा स्वामी सब कुछ है तेरा स्वामी सब कुछ है तेरा तेरा तुझको अर्पण तेरा तुझको अर्पण Gamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Nityarma Vritam Gamaya Om Shanti 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 Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Shanti 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 Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Prem se bolo Lakshmi Narayana Bhagavan ki Sri Bhutabhrteshwarnath Bhagavan ki Shri Radha Krishna Kanhaiya Lal ki Avatara Kriya Babaji ki Shri Ramanujacharya ki Prem se bolo Satguru Deva Sri Swami Vishwananda Mahaprabhu ki Klim Krishnaya Govindaya Gopijana Vallabhaya Paraya Paramapurushaya Parakarma Mantrayanta Tantra Oshadasi Shastrani Samaraya Samaraya Mrityo Murchaya Murchaya Om Namo Bhagavate Masudarshanaya Dipti Jvala Paritaya Savadi Shubhana Umpat Parashmaye Parabrahmane Paranjyotishe Swaha Om Shanti 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 Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Jai Jai Shri Ram